Good evening, welcome to North West Tonight with Annabelle Tiffin
and Roger Johnson. Our top story. The Prime Minister visits Liverpool looking for new trade as the city hosts the biggest business festival in half a century.
He's banging the drum for British business, but more importantly, banging the drum for business in the north.
We'll hear from some of those hoping to benefit also tonight.
And we'll be reporting from Nantes, where a new giant, the Grandma, has made her debut. She'll be in Liverpool next month, commemorating the start of the First World War.
Now, not since the Festival of Britain has the country so loudly and so clearly banged the drum for great British business. Today, the Prime Minister arrived in Liverpool to do just that. David Cameron launched the International Festival for Business.
The message, which is to be sent out over the next 50 days this summer, is that the UK is open for business, and more importantly, the North is open for business. Well, Jane McCubbin is live in Liverpool for us at St George's Hall this evening. And Jane, the fact that it's there, it's in Liverpool, couldn't be more significant, particularly for that city.
Absolutely, it's sending out a very clear message, not just to the country but to the world. Up there, the first trickle of some of the tens of thousands of business movers and shakers who are expected in this city over the next 50 days. Along here, some of the great British products they are banging the drum for. But as you say, the most important thing is the message this sends out to the world, that when you think about business in Great Britain, don't just think about London. This is a showcase, the likes of which hasn't been seen since 1951, to sell more great British goods over there, to get more great foreign investment over here, and where better a place to host it.
I'm absolutely delighted to be here in Liverpool today. This Festival for Business is a key part of what we're trying to do. I'd like to thank everyone who's coming, who is exhibiting. It's going to bring money and investment to this fabulous region of our country and to this, the iconic city of Liverpool.
The fact that it's here couldn't be more important. A reminder to the world that not all of the people and the innovations that make great British business great come from London.
At 70 miles an hour, your face starts to move about.
Like the BAC Mono, already on day one of the 2-month event cashing in.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had a lead just this morning, in fact, from Abu Dhabi about distribution out in the Middle East, which is absolutely fantastic for us.
Another great British product made in Chester, in use in Nigeria right now.
The Sentinel aircraft, which is essentially a flying radar, has been used just recently down in the south of England, mapping the extent of the flooding that we had earlier in the year. But most recently, it's been deployed in support of the effort to look for the missing schoolgirls in Nigeria.
And just look at the investment in the Port of Liverpool, set to become one of the biggest ports in Europe. David Cameron knows that kind of investment is vital to rebalancing the UK economy.
Who would believe it? Liverpool, the capital of the private enterprise sector. It's amazing.
And yet, 4 out of 5 new jobs created in the UK in the last 2 years were actually down south. Can this help?
The fact is that there is a revolution going on. There's a long way to go, but already the local people are playing a bigger role, and rightly so.
This is a key part of that revolution, to say there is more to UK business than the South East. So more to UK business than the South East. Interesting comment by the event host here today. He described Boris Johnson as the Joe Anderson of the South. Joe, you join me now. Thanks for your time this evening. You, David Cameron, here today, not natural allies. It's only a couple of months since you were threatening to report him to the United Nations.
Yeah.
But here you are today. Firm friends.
Everybody who helps me promote Liverpool and the city region and the northwest is a friend in the sense when it comes to exactly, because when it's business and promoting the city region and the northwest, he's an ally in that sense, and we'll use him and exploit that.
4 out of 5 jobs created in the last 2 years were created in the southeast. Do you really think that this can help try and counter that?
Well, it's not going to happen overnight, and this isn't going to be, the panacea for all the problems that Liverpool, Manchester, the North West, all our regional partners here have. But it's going to help. It's going to help promote. Of course it is, and we've got to keep bashing away that, if we're serious about rebalancing the economy, Liverpool, Manchester, the whole North West needs these opportunities.
Thank you very much for your time, Joe. Good luck with the next 50 days. This is Neil Briggs, who we've already heard of. We know your best conversation today was about that trade deal with
the Middle East.
It started for you already then, hasn't
Yes.
it? Because normally you have to go to these countries, but this is about them coming to you.
Absolutely, yeah. That's what's fantastic about the festival, is that we're here, everyone's coming to us, and it's an opportunity to hit 5 or 6 markets in a very, very short period of time. We're showcasing down at the hub where we're building a car from scratch, so we're showcasing our CKD concept of how we could build cars in future different locations.
You've already sold that car, I believe, to Brazil, your first step into that market, and that's what it's about, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Expanding markets.
We have indeed. That customer will be collecting the car at the end of the festival, and so it's just a great opportunity.
Good luck with it.
Thank you.
Just time to say, Lord Heseltine today, I asked him, is there more that the government could do to promote business? He said it already is. Expect big news tomorrow about support for Preston. More on that in tomorrow's programme.
As I'm sure you know, Liverpool will once again be the land of the giants next month. They'll be commemorating the centenary of the outbreak of the First World War, and it will be the country's flagship centenary event.
Yeah, the Giants were in Liverpool 2 years ago. I'm sure many of you remember, but this time there'll be a new character, the grandmother. She'll help tell the story of the Liverpool Pals, ordinary men who signed up to fight in 1914. Now, the grandmother made her first public appearance in France at the weekend, and Andy Gill was there to see her.
When I grow up, I wanna be an old woman. When I grow up, I wanna be an old woman.
She's the lady who put the Nan in Nantes, the hometown of the Giants. But the first sight anyone had of her was rather quieter.
Oh la la.
Before taking to the streets, she lay in state in a theatre in the city centre. The idea is that she's travelled from 13 billion light years away, so her mind has to catch up with her body. Even asleep, the locals were impressed.
It's beautiful. Amazing, beautiful.
It's very, very fantastic.
You have never seen that thing, something like that, so big.
Next month, the grandma will sleep in St George's Hall in Liverpool before heading out onto the streets. The councillor, who's head of culture for Nantes, says the Giants are a vital part of the town.
It's important as the Beatles are important in Liverpool, because the story of Nantes is the story of the Giants. They come in the town from 20 years, and each 2 or 3 years a new story of the Giants.
That night, thousands were on the streets to see another character taken through the town to sleep in a hammock. This many people to see an inanimate giant. Nantes is the hometown of the Giants, so you'd expect huge crowds here. But I'll tell you what, it won't be any different in Liverpool. The delegation from Liverpool Council and Merseyside Police need to gather as much practical information as they can. But this trip is also a reminder of what they hope the Giants will bring to Liverpool.
What I've just seen tonight, you just go, that's why we're doing it. We're doing it because of that those hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people who turned up tonight to see a little giant go to sleep.
Tomorrow we'll report on ways in which the grandmother is different from the Giants who visited Liverpool 2 years ago. Andy Gill, BBC North West Tonight, Nantes.
Goodbye. Thanks for watching.